News for Thursday, August 21st, 2025. I am Rakisha St. Louis. Coming up in the news, Ministry of Agriculture to embark on apple growing project with private sector enterprise. And the Ministry of Health records successful first week of dental clinic. We'll have details to these stories and more after the break.
The official Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1 to November 30. Are you ready? Have a family emergency plan. Stock up on supplies. Follow official alerts. Do not rely on rumors. Prepared communities are stronger communities, but preparedness begins with you.
A message from the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA.
To meet the growing water demand in the south of the island, NOASA, in collaboration with the Caribbean Development Bank through the UK Caribbean Infrastructure Fund, is implementing the Southern St. George's Water Supply Expansion Project. This project is designed to improve water quality, ensure a consistent supply, and protect our environment for future generations. We are upgrading our water supply system by replacing aging infrastructure, constructing new storage tanks, and installing advanced monitoring equipment. There will be dust, noise, and traffic inconveniences. We appreciate your patience during the construction phase. We believe in the power of community engagement. Your voice matters. Your input is essential. Want to learn more? Get involved. Attend our public meetings. Follow us on NOASA's social media and share your feedback. Reliable, safe drinking water means a healthier, better quality of life for all. Together, we're securing a better water future for Grenada. Join us on this journey. This project is made possible through the collaborative efforts of the Government of Grenada, the Caribbean Development Bank, and the Foreign and Commonwealth Development Office of the United Kingdom, with grant funding from the UK Caribbean Infrastructure Partnership Fund.
Welcome back. Grenada will be conducting extensive research on apple plantlets from Africa as part of a partnership between Big Mac Enterprise, operators of Labe Market in New York, and the Ministry of Agriculture to reduce the local import bill. Earlier this week, over 100 or several tropical varieties of the apple plantlets from Tanzania were handed over to the Minister for Agriculture, Lands and Forestry, Honorable Lennox Andrews, and to Dr. Jem Thomas Barry of the Caribbean Agricultural Research and Development Institute, CARDI. Based on research, the imported apple plantlets are conducive to tropical climatic conditions. Lewis disclosed that the company, which is already piloting a significant apple plot in St. John, saw it fitting to partner with the Ministry of Agriculture to research tropical apple plantlet varieties.
The problem was finding a variety that can grow in Grenada and produce in Grenada. And he was fortunate to find some of them on the African continent. Kenya, which is the first set I got, the Wambonga, and then we have another set, which is these varieties here. I had nine varieties here that I got from Tanzania. Over a year ago, we planted some of these here, and what I can fairly say this morning is that these varieties can thrive in Grenada because we have planted them and they are doing fairly okay at this point in time. I'm looking forward in a couple of months' time to harvest fruits from those varieties that we have brought from Tanzania. The Ministry of Agriculture to step into the mix. They are the ace in our country where agriculture is concerned, and therefore Max saw it fit to involve the ministry into it. Also, CARDI, which is the research arm of the agriculture block in Grenada, he has also considered CARDI to get involved in the same process.
Minister Andrews, in accepting the plantlets, described the project as a new beginning for the agriculture sector, noting efforts invested in research by the Agronomy Division in expanding locally grown crops.
This experiment with apple reminds me of the thinking of our forefathers, those who fought for the independence of our country. Their view was that many of the things that we import could in fact have been produced here locally. And they introduced a concept called ISI, Input Substitution Industrialization, in which they identified a number of products that we were importing, but we should really make an effort to have them produced here locally. And apple is one such product. The Irish potato is another. The garlic is also another. And so I'm very happy that what we are doing today is giving new life to the economic thinking of those who came before us by experimenting with apple, with Irish potato, and with other crops. We've been improving and advancing our work with CARDI in terms of identifying new crops and new products that we can produce here in Grenada so as to make our agricultural sector more scientific based and more technologically advanced.
Chief Agronomist in the Ministry of Agriculture, Alison Haynes, gave assurance that the varieties can do well in Grenada.
And I was happy to see that these varieties, indeed, they are varieties that are being planted successfully in Africa in different zones. So in the high belt, in the lowland, in the middle belt. And they are seeing different level of success based on the management practices. So the management practice is very important. Having that, knowing the agronomic practices and implementing them at the right time, the nutrition of the plant, all the practices, pruning, etc., is very important. So I'm happy to receive the plants. We do have among our facilities in the Ministry of Agriculture, facilities in different zones that we can try. We have estates in the highlands, we have in the middle belt, we have in the lowlands. So we have a variety of areas that we can plant them and we can evaluate them along with CARDI and monitor their success.
CARDI's Dr. Thomas Barry labeled the handing over of the plantlets as a great contribution to Grenada's food and nutrition security, given the high level of importation of food, with apples making up a large portion of imports. Dr. Barry said CARDI is eager to work with the Ministry of Agriculture and anticipates a productive and good outcome from the project.
We are planning to work together with the ministry in terms of research and development. Apples is a new crop to Grenada, so things like the morphological aspects of it, the phenological aspect of the plant, documentation of proper tech packs, nutritional program, pest and disease management, all of that will be critical for making this initiative a success. And being one of the leading research developmental institute on island, we are very interested and happy to be part of this really good collaboration.
9 varieties of the tropical plantlets were imported from Tanzania. The Grenada Sustainable Development Trust Fund, in collaboration with the Grenada Bureau of Standards, met with farmers within the CMOS industry on Thursday to find ways the sector can be developed and align with international standards. CMOS production in Grenada is an expanding blue economy sector, providing alternative livelihoods for many, especially in the rural parts of the island. Once cultivated and packaged, CMOS can be dried or turned into gels for drinks and other culinary practices, with a growing market regionally and globally. Head of Standardization at the Grenada Bureau, Amisha Prasad, explained that the intention is to assess the existing structure and process for CMOS farmers and explore ways the standards can be improved in a way that augurs well for local and global businesses.
My presentation today really focused on the development process for a standard and how much we actually need the help of the public and the experts, the CMOS farmers, to get involved. Because contrary to popular belief, we cannot just sit in the offices and say we want a standard for this. It needs to be an interactive process. The people out here, the people who are going to be affected, needs to get involved in the conversation. So the presentation today was focused on the types of standards we have, the compulsory standards, which are legally mandated, the voluntary standards, which are optional but are good for business practices, and to tell the stakeholders here how they can actually get involved and how they can help us develop the standards that they need. I mean, submitting a proposal to us, going through the process, coming to the committees, having the conversations, and then sending it out to the public. And when it's out in the public, encouraging people to comment on the standards and making sure that going forward, we actually have something that's reflective of what is needed in Grenada and what supports national interest.
Farmers who attended the session are optimistic about the future.
From this gathering today, I hope to gain a lot of insights into the direction that the national entities and relevant organizations are looking to take CMOS in terms of development, also to contribute to that process as an agro-processor of CMOS, and glean any helpful information to help advance my business operations by way of grants or joint funding, those kind of things.
As a CMOS industry in Grenada, we need to have collective input into the development of the sector. I think there are three areas in particular that we'd really like to see some movement happening. One of them is in the area of production, assistance with, for example, labor. Many of our farmers are struggling a bit with just getting production up because of the cost of doing that. Secondly, I think there has to be a collective approach to post-harvest handling, so drying facilities. We have numbers of clusters of CMOS in the south, in the St. Davis area, for example, in St. Andrews, St. Patrick's. So if we want to see the national output, then funding, I believe, should be directed towards developing some centralized drying facilities in particular. And thirdly, marketing. So we want to be in a position where whatever CMOS we produce monthly can sell within the next month, so that we can really have a strong cash flow, which will in turn fuel more and additional growth. So I think the workshop is really important. At least we can engage in conversations. The Bureau of Standard presented their I guess, process for how we can develop standards for CMOS production, because to compete, we must be producing at a particular standard. So again, thank you. The workshop has been and will be very, very helpful.
The community leadership training organized by the Division of Youth of the Ministry of Youth for community-based youth-led organizations moved to St. Andrew Northeast at the Tivoli RC School. Ms. Janella Edwards, Assistant Youth Coordinator in the Ministry of Youth and Sports and Project Lead for the Community Leadership Training, outlines what the training will involve.
The community leadership training continues this Saturday, August 23rd in St. Andrew Northeast at the Tivoli RC School. The training is designed specifically for community-based youth-led organizations. The Ministry of Youth and Sports recognizes the vital role these organizations play in community development, youth empowerment, cultural preservation, etc. The training will focus on key areas of organizational development, such as helping these organizations craft their mission and vision, understanding their roles and responsibilities, setting achievable goals, conflict resolution strategies. We're also looking at succession planning.
The training will be hosted in different locations across the island and is facilitated by Ms. Kisha Mitchell and her team with over 20 years of leadership experience and a strong passion for youth development. The first training was held at Marquee in Southeast St. Andrew, and the third session will be held at the Butch Grove Community Center for youth-led community organizations there.
Ms. Kisha Mitchell and her team, they're excited to partner with the ministry to facilitate this training across the island. In the month of August, the training will take place at the Tivoli RC School on the 23rd, and on the 30th of August, we're heading to the Butch Grove Community Center for the second training there.
In addition, the Division of Youth has reopened the $5,000 community support grant to assist organizations in implementing their projects. Interested youth-led organizations can reach out to the Ministry of Youth and Sports for more information. Ms. Edwards explains.
It will be reviewed and approved by an independent committee. The deadline for that is September 30th. So interested organizations, you are encouraged to visit the Ministry of Youth and Sports social media platforms to access the application form, or for further information, you can call the Ministry of Youth and Sports on 4406917.
The training is scheduled to commence at 9 a.m. The GIS news will return after the break.
Netball, netball, yes, exciting, edge of your seat netball is back. It's the 5th ECCB International Netball Series in the Spice Isle of Grenada, August 23rd to 31st at Tantine Netball Complex in St. George's. Witness 7 ECCB member countries: Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines battle for the coveted Gloria Valentine Championship Trophy. But wait, there's more. The 5th ECCB International Netball Series will also feature visiting teams from Barbados, the Cayman Islands, and Guyana. Who will reign supreme at the 5th ECCB International Netball Series? Go on out to the Netball Complex at Tantine or connect to the ECCB Connect's Facebook page and YouTube channel for live coverage of the matches. It's netball action at its best. Excellence and empowerment through sports.
Welcome back. 41 members of Grenada's 45-member delegation have arrived in Barbados ahead of CariFesta 15, taking place from August 22nd to the 31st. The festival-themed Caribbean Roots Global Excellence is set to be the ultimate celebration of Caribbean culture, creativity, and global connection, with participation from over 25 countries. Grenada's delegation is led by Senator Quince Britton, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Creative Economy and Culture, and includes representatives from fashion, art, drama, culinary arts, and film. Building on the success of Grenada's 2025 Carnival season, the delegation will also promote Grenada as a premier vacation destination. Chief Cultural Officer Kelvin Jacob emphasized the importance of showcasing Grenada's creative talent and tourism appeal. The festival officially opens on Friday, August 22nd at 4 p.m. at Queen's Park in Bridgetown, preceded by a parade of nations at 3 p.m. under the theme Mask to Mass, a vibrant tribute to the region's creative evolution. Grenada Night will be held August 25th, featuring This Is We, a dramatic musical directed by Dr. Christopher Roger Williams, and a culinary presentation of Grenada's national dish, Oildang, led by Kennedy Roberts and Chef Andre Bernard. There will also be a live theatre production, The Camahorn Boat, by Chris DeRiggs. Grand Market is from August 23rd to 31st at Waterford Place, covering 45,000 square feet across 5 zones: fashion, home and decor, wellness, literature, and gourmet foods. The Government Information Service will provide live coverage of Grenada's key events throughout the festival. The Government Information Service will provide live coverage of Grenada's key events throughout the festival. The team will be joined by Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell, Minister for Tourism, Creative Economy and Culture Senator Adrian Thomas, Permanent Secretary Desiree Stephen, and members of the Grenada Tourism Authority. Trainer of the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association, Louise John, has announced a special offer to tourism stakeholders from the island of Carriacou for the upcoming Supercharge training. Speaking via Zoom at the media launch of the GHTA Supercharge training to be held in November to boost Grenada's tourism product, she said Carriacou plays a very important role in the tourism product of Pure Grenada, and their contribution to the training in 2023 was impressive. Ms. John said she's excited to meet them again.
Absolutely thrilled that the GHTA Tourism Enhancement Fund, in connection with the CHTA Education Foundation, are offering a special opportunity for the first 8 people from Carriacou that register. If you're listening right now in Carriacou or when you read this online, please, if you're a GHTA member, check your email. It's bringing tears to my eyes. It is such a great opportunity. Carriacou is a huge part of tourism in Pure Grenada. We are not forgetting you. We want you with us. In 2023, we had 7 participants from Carriacou, and you brought so very much to the training every day. It was my honor to meet you. And please come back, come back, come back, come back. You add the spice that these Grenadans need.
The first 8 registrants from the Sister Isle will get the opportunity to participate in the training free of charge through a collaborative effort by the CHTA Education Foundation and GHTA Tourism Enhancement Fund. Ms. Arlene Friday, CEO of the Grenada Hotel and Tourism Association, gives a breakdown of the offer to tourism stakeholders from Carriacou.
We know how much Carriacou went through last year with Hurricane Beryl, and we want to support our residents of Carriacou. So for the first 8 people who register, we will give it to you free of charge, thanks to the CHTA Education Foundation and to GHTA Tourism Enhancement Fund. So that means a free participation fee as well as free ferry transportation to and from Carriacou to Grenada. So again, we want you to come on board. We want you to participate. We don't want you to feel left out in the cold. You are our sisters, and we are here to support our sister island of Carriacou.
GHTA CEO Ms. Arlene Friday says Carriacou, in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl, has offered opportunities to the people of Carriacou to become active members of the association, and they want to continue to do more for their continued progress in being more involved in activities to boost the Grenada tourism product.
Carriacou, again, it is our roots, it's our culture, it is our heritage. So we want everyone from Carriacou to know that and to feel a part of this. This is also the heartstrings of our trainers who have a passion for Carriacou as well, as does GHTA, as we've given back for Hurricane Beryl, but we want to do more. Again, since the hurricane, we've offered free membership to residents of Carriacou who wanted to be a part of GHTA. This is something else that we wanted to do as well.
Finally, in the news, residents of Carriacou and PT Martinique have been turning out in their numbers to benefit from the free dental outreach program, which started at the Hillsborough Government School on Monday. We get more in this report from Blossom Alexis Welsh.
The Sandals Foundation, in collaboration with the Dental Health Department of the Ministry of Health, took the 1,000 Smiles initiative to the Sister Isle this week, where the dental practitioners have been performing cleanings, fillings, root canals, extractions, among other procedures. Minister of Carriacou and PT Martinique Affairs, the Honourable Tevin Andrews, expressed his appreciation to the volunteers for their service on Wednesday.
This initiative couldn't have come in a better time. This is a perfect timing, taking into consideration what we have recently experienced. And our health centers, our hospital were impacted, either damaged or destroyed. So we don't understand some of the services that we provided could not have been afforded to our residents. So certainly today is a very good, this week has been a wonderful week for the people of Carriacou and PT Martinique because of your dedication and sacrifice. Because really and truly it's a sacrifice that you've made to be here. And as Member of Parliament, I just thought it was important to say thank you and more so welcome. And I do hope it's not the last visit. And because I offered some residency, it certainly wouldn't be the last visit.
Project manager of Great Shape Inc., Beverly Woods, says they are happy to provide the service to the people who need it.
I'd like to extend our gratitude to the wonderful and grateful people of Carriacou for welcoming us with such open hearts to come to your island and to bring all my friends with me to give back in the best way we can. We do it, for ourselves. This fills our hearts. with gratitude and love to be able to do what we do. And so on behalf of everyone that's here today and those who come early in the week and that will follow me next week, I say thank you, thank you, thank you for allowing us to come and just do a little bit of what we do so often. Thank you.
Minister of Health, the Honourable Philip Telesford, says the continued collaboration for the 1000 Smiles initiative will strengthen primary health care across the state.
We within the Ministry of Health has been working steadfastly to improve health care around the country of Grenada, the state of Grenada, which includes Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And our plan is to ensure that primary health care is given top priority. And anything that we can do in our power to strengthen healthcare, we certainly will. And we are definitely grateful for the contribution that you are making towards improving healthcare. Now, dental services is something that we need desperately. And so your intervention here today cannot be left unnoticed. It is something that is extremely important to us. And our dental unit has been working very hard over the past few years to improve dental care on the islands of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
Almost 2,000 Grenadians benefited from last year's mission, which aims to ensure everyone leaves with a brighter smile. Reporting for the Ministry of Health, I am Blossom Alexis Welsh.
Thank you, Blossom. That story just ended the GIS news for Thursday, August 21st. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Rikisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us.